Hello, Serge here for the Backyard Driving Range. All right, we have a letter that came in to us from Vinny the Shoe, and Shoe is S-C-H-U. And Vinny says, Don, I have been a devotee of your swing for about a year and I'm hitting the ball reasonably well. Current handicap hovers between 7 and 9, and if I ever get off the dime and practice the fundamentals of the wonderful Kenny Knox short game video series, I might be able to get even lower. I find your explanations of the full swing both complete and accessible. For the most part, I enjoy working on my swing. However, there are two aspects of the swing where I need help on both the theory and the practice of the PPGS. Firstly, I am a little confused on the action of the hands, particularly at and just after impact. It seems to me that the no wrist action is good wrist action mantra is somewhat antithetical. That one caught me. All right, I got a fairly good understanding of the English language, but every now and then somebody throws one of these big ones at us, and antithetical is spelled A-N-T-I-T-H-E-T-I-C-A-L, and in Webster's dictionary it is defined as number one, against or a contrast or opposition as of ideas, and two, the exact opposite. Well, I guess that is correct about as far as when I talk about what you're asking is about release, and I always say that in a perfect 3P grip with the palms facing each other, perpendicular to ground, perpendicular to torso, and perpendicular to my aiming line, the 3P grip, they are, when they face each other, they are basically diametrically opposed to each other, because that way whatever one does in any type of action, the other one's doing just the opposite. And the only action we want is basically rotation of the arms, not any wrist cocking, breaking, hinging, or whatever. We try to fight that stuff as much as we can. It's just rotation, and I'm going to explain that. Okay? So it's antithetical to the toe up and the roll of the wrists. Roll of the wrists. It is not a roll of the wrists, it is a roll of the arms, right? Because what's rolling? My arms are rotating over. And when I'm together, as I said, they're diametrically opposed. The wrist can't roll. The wrist is a connection point between the fingers and the forearm and the upper arm. Just as the elbow is a connecting joint that allows us more motion and more chances to break it and cause more angles. And as you know, secret number one is golf's a game of angles. The fewer the better. So when I talk about motion in the arms and everything else, anything to do, the wrists are just a part of the arm. It's a connecting joint that allows us another point of flexibility and things of that sort. But we got to control it, because more angles are just more problems. As I used to say, more ducks. And it's tougher for a mother duck to teach 12 ducks to walk in a straight line than it is to only teach 2 ducks to walk in a straight line. Okay? So we're going to talk not about the wrist, but it's from the very tip of the fingers all the way to the top of the arm, connected to the shoulder in a ball and socket joint. They all rotate. Okay? This produces a pop at impact. I like that thought, a pop. I mostly call it a snap at impact, because I feel like it snaps at it and through and up, because I'm controlling my rotations. So I like the word pop, and I like snap. This produces a pop at impact that only feels wrong, but can also result in some fantastic dead straight pulls that overshoot the target by 20 yards. Can you help with the proper visual? No problem. The key is that when you hit and get those super shots that go really far, your pop or snap squared the club up to impact. Okay? Now I'm going to put 2 lines down this way. Okay? And one of them is going to be that. This is going to show where the ball is. Would be sitting on the end of that line, and I'm going to have this one here to prove that. And I'm going to try to line these up as close as I can. This one right up to the target. Okay? The target being the camera. All right, so here's the ball. When I come back down in my swing and I'm coming down, if you were to stand here and just swing your arms like this, you get yourself perfectly square, say ball in the center of your line. All right, even if I'm going to hit a driver and my ball's back here, no matter what, your hands always in the center of your body, they cross when they swing. All right, they cross. We can only swing on front of our toe line, and they always cross and meet here. It's like if when you go to church and you're going to get baptized or any other sacraments that you get or whatever you do in whatever religion you're in, and they have you holding your hand something like this, where is it? It's right here. All right? When people stand there, like at parade rest, soldiers, their hands are in front. They don't have their hands over on the left hip or the right hip because that's out of balance. Here, right here, your neck, your shoulders, your back, all the way down, your hips and legs, everything is in straight, what kind of feels like straight line, straight down because you're in balance. Or if you put your back and you notice they got their hands behind the back, it's here. It's not over there or over there. It's right here, directly in the middle of your body, it's just in line with your spine. Okay? So that's natural. Well, guess what? If you're going to stand here, and even if you hold your hands like this, what are they? They're basically perpendicular to the ground. They're here, not over here and not over there. You can hold them here with no problem. You can hold them right there. All right? So they're right here. So that's where impact is. And release, and we get, I think what's happening is, you've heard me talk about, is a controlled amount of rotation. All right? And you're not controlling your rotation correctly because it's obvious when you say you're hitting some great shots dead straight and longer, and then you hit some really big pulls that overshoot the you hit some straight shots and then pulls that overshoot the target. Because why? In a pull, when you come to impact, instead of the club face being square at impact, your palms being square, you've allowed it to start releasing too much, and then you release it, the club face is already a little shut instead of square at impact. Means your club face is shut. Your palms, your right palm is now down a little to the ground, and your left palm's a little facing the sky because you've over-released. Under-release would be going the other way, and what's that going to produce? That's going to produce a block or a push. And now in my case, the right palm, the lower hand, would be skyward, and the left palm would be a little bit downward towards the earth, pointing towards the ground. We want them to both be here where they're both perpendicular to the ground, and the face is perpendicular because we started with a good square grip, 3P grip, which has the face also perpendicular. Okay? So it's going to come back to there every time. You stand there, if you just stand and put your hand down like this, just let your arm fall. Your arm's always going to fall right there and slap it. It's not going to come near and slap it like that or slap it like that. Right? And if you put your right hand there and just take your left hand, it's going to fall down that way. So gravity's helping us. All right? So it's just that if you just swing properly and you just let the club square up. But the best way to let the club square up, and I think it's really the only way that has to happen when we're trying to hit a golf ball, is because we don't hit the ball and stop. We got to keep going, is that whatever I swung on this plane, on this side to the ball, the key is to go in. When I went into the forward catcher's mitt, reach the toe line and up the tree here and come down and hit it, I'm going to square up every time if I don't goof up. If I got a good grip and I don't try to manipulate the club anyway, the key to doing that is to make sure that I go into the forward catcher's mitt toe up. So if you're not really paying attention to that, making that this right, to make your lower hand, right hand for right hander, left hand for left hander, to make that forward hand, that lower hand, control the club into the forward mitt toe up, but rather go in the toe mitt, whichever you hit the ball. And basically I see a lot of people, they hit the ball and it's like after that they just kind of like, okay, it's over. I'll just ho-hum it to the finish. There's no ho-humming. Whatever muscle tone I got, that's staying together to get all the way up there and here and control everything. Because if I start going lackadaisical or ho-hum with it and muscles start to relax, now I've lost my engagement of all my muscles, and they can start breaking down. And you say, well, who cares? The ball's hit. But sometimes, how do you know that lack of that losing engagement? If it started before the ball, then therefore you're going to have a lot of problems. So I think it's critical that your lower hand has to control everything into the catcher's mitt, toe up, and up the tree. So that's where our controlled degree of rotation is. We control it into the catcher's mitt and up the tree in the backswing. We control it once we hit impact. We're controlling it of toe up into the forward mitt and up the tree. And I think that's what you're lacking. You're probably doing a pretty good job on this side, but because you're lacking toe up on that side into the catcher's mitt, you can over-release it, you can under-release it. But it's obvious that you're over-releasing it more than not, and that's why you're getting those pulls. And the pulls usually go farther, because why? The club face is shutting down, it's de-lofting. You've turned, say, a 7-iron into a 6-iron, or a 6-iron into a 5-iron. And so it's going to go left and hotter, lower and hotter, all right? And when it hits, it's going to run more. If it hits the green or hits somewhere near the green, it's going to run even more because it's got overspin running. So the whole key is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You're making pretty good backswings, it sounds like, but you need to work on getting it into that forward catcher's mitt, toe up. From this view, it's right here. It's toe up in the backswing, and then toe up in the forward swing, up the tree, over the shoulder, recoil and relax, square to the target. All right, you've got to control it all the way to the finish, and that's still not enough. It's the recoil and relax, and once you recoil to relax, that's when you can let go and relax. Right? The recoil and relax is after you've hit the ball, get all the way to your tee, finish here. That's when you recoil and relax. That's when your muscle tone, you can let it go down. You can de-energize yourself, disengage yourself, whatever you want. But if you're losing your energy and your muscle tone and anything, anywhere in the swing, before the recoil and relax, that could be part of a problem too. But I think for you, the big problem with a lot of folks is you don't go into that forward mitt and up the tree, which controls the amount of rotation, and that's what we call release. When we go toe up, or you can even think about your thumbs. Toe up, thumbs up, toe up, thumbs up. Okay? Controlling your swing from start to finish, especially through the impact zone. That's how you're going to hit it more solid, straight, and controlled consistently. That's it for the search for today, and I'll be talking with you all again soon.